You mean Nintendo might actually be listening to their fans? So if you've been a follower of this channel, you know that we have talked about the Nintendo NX our fair share, and we're going to discuss this some more today because this is the first time we talked about this on the Quack. So the Wall Street Journal reported from some of the really credible sources that Nintendo NX development kits have been sent out to some third-party developers for some development cycles. Now they've kind of come back and confirmed that the Nintendo NX is probably going to be a hybrid. Actually, they said it's a hybrid. Now for me, I'm really happy about that, but there's this group of people out there who are like, oh, that's gonna destroy their business practices and that's just gonna ruin them as a whole, and I'm kind of back here like, now since they have confirmed that it's going to be a hybrid, what I'm talking about is they're going to fuse their handheld and their consoles together. And they kind of did this a few years back with their handheld and their console divisions. They merged them together inside the company to kind of help unify Nintendo as a whole and make the console and handhelds more similar. And now it seems like they're going even further and just going full on like, hey, we want you to have the same experience at home that you do on the go. And for me, I like that. I might as well be Japanese because I love handhelds. I mean, I'm like one of the 10 people outside Japan that actually owns one of these things. Now, these same sources are talking about how the NX actually could launch next year. And I don't think anybody's shocked about that because of their offerings that we're going to be getting the latter half of this year, and there's like nothing lined up for next year. In the public eye, I'm actually excited for a lot of stuff, but I gotta think bigger than myself here. Even though I myself am a huge fan of Mario Tennis and Xenoblade and Star Fox, and I can't wait for all those games to come out for the Wii U, you gotta admit that that feels pretty much just like filler content. Xenoblade actually looks amazing, but that game's been in development for way too long. Now these same sources have apparently confirmed that the console is going to be made up of like a domestic unit, and it's also going to be made up of a portable unit. Now each console is going to be shipped out with at least one mobile unit, and it's going to be able to be transferred away from the main console and take on the go. That sounds incredible. I mean, honestly, that sounds like a dream to have everything unified on just one platform where I can take it on the go, I can pop in a game and then be like, oh, here, just send this save file to Mario 3D World over here to, why did I say Mario 3D World? I'm not a huge fan of that game. Send Earthbound over to my NX portable unit and then go. And according to the rumor mill, the NX will also be able to clean your house, solve world hunger, as well as do every singular thing for your feeble body so you never have to move a muscle ever again. Now I know I'm probably going to get a little bit of backlash for this, but I genuinely think maybe Nintendo should drop the console market. Before you smash dislike, please hear me out. Now I've said this before, but I'm just going to repeat it again. Nintendo has not done very well with consoles ever since the SNES. I mean, obviously, yes, they had their boom success with the Wii, but again, that was pretty short-lived. Obviously, the industry has moved on from Nintendo and the Wii brand, and they just understand handhelds better. I mean, their design philosophy with video games is revolved around handhelds. Any of their console games can be emulated on a handheld. I mean, we've seen that with the Wii U and the 3DS. This generation especially. I mean, if Nintendo's doing something like this with the Wii handheld, I can't even imagine what they could do with something stronger. Because if they ditch the second screen, you can do a lot more. But everything that I just said right there, that was pure speculation. That was all me. I did that. Please take that with a grain of salt. That's not actually going to happen. Nintendo has too much money in the bank right now to be like, oh yeah, let's not make consoles anymore. I really doubt they're going to do that because Nintendo is Nintendo and Nintendo doesn't like to listen to anybody but themselves. And that kind of contradicts what I'm about to say, but I really don't care. After the Wii U was criticized for not having strong hardware, they went back to the drawing board and they decided, oh, let's pump some industry-leading chips. Those were the words that were directly used. Industry-leading chips into the new hardware. And it was leaked today that apparently the Nintendo NX chips can only run on high-end gaming PCs with like cutting-edge graphic chips. That's insane to think about. Nintendo could be considering this much power for their console. Something that was reported a couple months ago could actually kind of confirm some of this, but it's not totally for sure yet. But Square Enix was reported to be developing Dragon Quest XI and Final Fantasy XIV for the NX. They let that slip, and I'm sure Nintendo wasn't very happy about that. I mean, I'm sure they're happy about getting the games, because the Wii U's third-party support is not exactly the crowning achievement of mankind. And with the NX, I hope they branch out and let more companies take a hold of their properties and make games with them, because the Final Fantasy XV director said that he wants to make a Zelda game. I'd like to see that happen, but then again, when Square Enix touches properties, sometimes they get a little too chaotic. Guys, the point here is the industry has strongly changed ever since something like the Wii came out in 2006. That's, you know, that's almost a decade ago. We have moved on from that. The Wii U obviously was a huge flop. Nintendo had this weird limbo ground that they were trying to stand on with the Wii U, and it just didn't work. I'm not saying that they have to go for the strongest tech, the most powerful graphics chips. I'm not saying that at all. I propose one of two things that needs to happen here. They either need to go one route with a crazy idea and something that's incredibly unique and just really innovative with something like a hybrid console, or they need to go the other route with something like a really traditional, strong, powerful console that can have a lot of third-party games and a lot of good support on it. But these reports are indicating that there's both of these, which that could seriously drive the price up. Because if we're talking about a handheld that's handling something like 4K graphics, that's alone is going to be like $500. I mean, how am I going to afford to buy all these things then, Nintendo? But if you want something that looks like that Wii U Zelda tech demo that we got at like E3 2012, we're going to need something strong. And I hope Nintendo makes something strong. And if you want to see Mario and Unreal Engine that looks something like this, but without the completely uncohesive background, then maybe we need a stronger console. But if Nintendo does go the other route and makes a handheld that can dock into a home console and play games that way too, I would be fine with that. And who knows, this could all just be for their next handheld. It could be docking into a console too to provide multiple gameplay options because Nintendo likes that. And I like that Nintendo likes that. Wouldn't that be crazy to think about though, if you could have like a $150 entry handheld that could dock to a console and then they had a really powerful console that came out too? Maybe that's what they're doing. Who are we even kidding here? Nintendo's probably going to make a console that outputs at like 720p and they just go full first party and don't even want third party games at all.